Welcome. Glad you're here. Love doing these things. Love sharing things about music and the fact that there is more to life and more to things than meets the eye. Last week we were looking at that exact topic. This week we're looking at the fact that there's more to learning than just knowing stuff. Next week I'm really excited because it's probably my most favorite phrase ever. There's more to music than music. Uh-huh. That'll be interesting. And then, of course, we end September's Weekend Preludes with another There Is More Than. So I love this series right now. Today, as Joshua mentioned, we are actually going to be talking about the fact that there is more to learning than just knowledge itself. Just knowing things really isn't enough. And I want to explore several things today that help us learn more, do more about music, about living life in general, perhaps even, that actually help us grow as human beings. And music plays an incredible part in that. It's one of the most fundamental forms of communication that humans have to express and receive and share emotions. It was probably the first thing man in its modern form did was grunt. And then the second thing was to actually tap out a rhythm. Maybe the other way around. I don't know. I wasn't there. But maybe rhythm came first. Maybe singing came first. Who knows? But there was an expression of emotion through what we now call music, and we formalized it and we've made it very academic. And it's what gives us those goosebumps because it touches us in ways that nothing else can. So how do we learn this? We can know a lot of stuff about playing, about the repertoire, about the history of the composer, about the instruments, about venues, acoustics. We can learn so much about all of that. But what does that do for us? It just makes you, I don't know more. But that doesn't make you more of a human being. So I really like what Benjamin Franklin said about this, actually. This kind of knocked me sideways. It's a bit of an old quote, but he said, without continual growth and progress, such words as improvement, achievement, and success have no meaning. Okay, and it's on the top of the worksheet, so you can still look at it because there are some big words in there. Without continual growth and progress, without continually learning, not just knowing stuff, but growing and making progress, then things like improvement, things like achievement, and even things like success, they actually have no meaning if you're not learning more than just knowing stuff. I just really appreciate how succinct Benjamin Franklin said that and made it very, very clear to us. And I picked that up from, it was actually quoted called The Emigrant Edge by Brian Buffini, who came to the US from Ireland. And there's lots of things that immigrants have, or emigrants from other countries, that actually help us achieve a lot more, to improve our lives, and actually build on what we consider success. And the fact that we just keep going for it, going for it. It's a great book, The Emigrant Edge by Brian Buffini. But that's where I got that Benjamin Franklin quote from. So yeah, if we're not actually taking steps to learn more than just knowledge, then we can't actually move forward. We can't step forward. And because if you're not going forward, because the world is spinning, as the last I heard, the world is still spinning, it's still rotating. If you're not moving forward with it, then you're actually going to be going backwards. And that's not a good thing for anyone at any age. So I really hope that you appreciate there is more to learning than knowledge. And the first thing that I want to share with you about that is the fact that we need to kind of, in order to maintain this, we should really want to upgrade our fuel. What the heck do I mean by that? Well, fuel is, the term fuel, I guess, actually helps us move forward, helps us do things, helps us just take action, exist. For us humans, the obvious fuel is food, and we need to be careful about that. But what about up here? What about our emotions? What about our minds? I think we need to kind of be very careful, very wary of what we actually read, what we watch, and what we listen to. We need to upgrade our lives so that we curate the inputs that we get. And I've done this for many years now. I've been very, very conscientious about what kind of things, what movies I watch, what TV programs I watch, what news I watch, what my sources are, what I read, all that kind of stuff. I, I'm not one single-minded. I don't watch a certain specific thing all the time. I do vary things up a lot just so that I know what's going on and what other people are thinking out there. Again, otherwise I don't learn. If I don't learn another perspective, how can I make any sort of assessment of what I like and what I don't like? Again, if you're very narrow-minded and you focus on just one particular source, perhaps it's time to upgrade that. Just curate the kind of fuel that you're giving into your mind. My guiding principle of what I like to watch and read and listen to over time is that if anyone or anything actually helps build me up, if anyone makes me feel good, if anyone is going to help to my or contribute to my growth, to my learning, then that's what I'm going to focus on. That's the fuel I want more of. Okay, it's like you've got the gas pump. You've got those three different levels of gasoline or petrol, and some are old, some are more recent. I don't entirely fully understand. But if one makes my car work better at any particular time, then that's the fuel I'm going to use from that particular gas station. If over other time, a year later or so, I'll try a different type of gasoline, and if that makes my car work better, I'm going to stick with that one for a while. So I'm constantly just being very wary of the fuel that I'm taking in for not only my car, but my emotions and my mind as well. So it's who builds you up, it's who encourages you, who puts you, and you can, once you've done this, once you've figured out the kind of sources that make you feel better and learn more than just stuff that actually help you grow, and you'll sense it inside, then you can start to encourage yourself. And this may seem a little bit cliche. It's been overdone a lot, particularly with things like the law of attractiveness and the secret and all that kind of stuff. But affirmations do work. They do actually help you upgrade what goes into your mind. So encourage yourself with affirmations. Once you've curated the kind of fuel that you're going to input into your mind and into your emotions, once you've found sources that build you up, that encourage you, that make you feel good, then you can actually start making yourself feel good and getting less negative. And I have to say, at this point, I need to listen to myself a lot more often than I do. This is good stuff. But we all fall down once in a while, so I hope this is a good reminder for you. The second thing that I wanted to cover today about the fact that there's more to learning than just learning facts, just memorizing facts and all that kind of stuff, is that we need some sort of training and accountability. Training and accountability, they're kind of intertwined. I tried to separate these out and I simply couldn't, because they're very, very, although they are separate skills, separate tactics, separate tasks, if you will, they're just so intertwined that when you are learning, when you're growing, when you're making progress, you can't actually do much. There's no point training on how to do something if there's no way to measure or to be accountable. Otherwise, why bother? And you'll give up sooner or later. And unfortunately, I've seen that happen a lot over the last few months because people have forgotten the accountability part. So the training will actually help freshen your skills and your energy. And again, it's both. It's not just the actual being able to know a lot about music so that when you go to a concert you can sit and listen to it and you know the history of the composer, the history of the music itself, you know what the music's about or what the composer kind of intended, all that kind of stuff. It's not just that, but the fact that your skills, you can hear what's going on in the music, you can pick out different instruments, you know what those instruments are, but you also let it in, you also let it, your imagination kind of wander a little bit. You imagine your own pictures, your own mind of what's going on in this music, and then you let it sink in a little bit deeper, a little bit further. And it is a skill. to actually focus and listen, particularly in today's society with all the distractions we have from technology. It's really, really tough to focus for any amount of time. I think we're down to about, I think it was a minute, 1.7 minutes. What is that? 1 minute, 45 seconds, something like that. It's really tough to concentrate and focus on anything for any amount of time. But if you let your mind wander as you're listening, you focus on the sound that's hitting you from all directions as well as your ears, and you let it deep, you let it sink down a little bit, then it can touch your heart and then it can touch your emotions. And that's when the goosebumps occur. And you're so focused on that. And that is a skill. So freshen your skills. Re-engage in that kind of environment. Right now, if you can't find a local outdoor concert to attend, and there are quite a few around, and DMS has some. We do the front lawn mini concerts if you want one on your doorstep. Then you can try and do this with YouTube, with a recording, with Spotify, with whatever else you use, Apple Music. So whatever you choose, keep refreshing your skills. Okay, and then that will refresh your energy. Having a routine is important. I think we've covered this before in another week in Preludes, but routines are really important, especially when we have no accountability. Get that accountability by starting a routine. Get up at the same time, get out of bed at the same time, go to bed at the same time, and follow your routines, and that will renew your energy. And when you have renewed energy, not only can you play better or can you sit and listen better, but the people around you will feel it. And you will help your entire community connect with each other and with the live music that you're experiencing, which is so much better for our world, especially right now. If you're struggling though, if this is a problem and you're finding it hard to get some training, to find accountability, to freshen your skills and energy, there's one thing that you can do that always, always works, and you will never regret asking for help. You may not get it, and you may not be the kind of help that you actually thought you were going to get. Again, it's something that I tend to focus on myself, is that I zero in on what the actual problem is and help with that, which may not be what somebody came to me to ask for help for. But if you ask for help, you're never going to regret it. What you will regret is if you never ask for help or you don't ask for help, because you remove that possibility of actually learning and growing. So please, you'll never regret getting help. And through that, you can go with mentoring and coaching. You can find mentors who are lifelong people who are interested in everything that you do in life, not just a specific area, or coaches which will focus on a specific area, like your playing, like your performance skills, which are different to playing skills, like your listening skills if you're an audience member, like your volunteer skills. We have lots of opportunities for volunteering in the DMS. So coaching focuses on a specific element of your existence, of your life, and will help you do that to the best that you possibly can. Whereas mentors tend to look at the bigger picture. They're with you for the longer term, and they look at everything in life, not just that one specific thing that you're going for. So both of those things, mentors and coaches, as well as teachers, these all contribute to your ability to find accountability. Yes, that you get the training and you get the accountability, and by doing both, you learn so much more than knowledge. And then the third thing that I wanted to share with you about learning, the fact that there is more to learning than just knowledge, is what do we do with all this? What is the application? How do we actually implement what we learn in life? It's been tough over these COVID months in isolation because of the lack of accountability. And we've discovered, many people have discovered lots of new stuff online. Much of it is great, really. It's very enjoyable. I've learned so much myself online, but it doesn't replace the real live in-person thing. We as musicians already know that. You as audience members probably already know that. That's why I try and attend almost as many concerts as I do actually perform in. Doesn't always work out that way, but I try and attend as many as I can. But the application of what it is that we learn, more than just the facts and the knowledge, really helps us grow. That changes life for us and for the people around us. So how do we actually apply what we learn? First of all, whatever your intentions are, whatever you want to actually happen, you have to replace that. You have to replace your intentions with action. You actually have to do something. This isn't always easy, and this is where mentoring and coaching actually comes in a great deal, is that to actually take action. Do something. Even if you think it's not right, even if you think you're embarrassed or you just think you don't know how to do it. I think at the beginning, Joshua mentioned Karen Owen, who joined the Pinellas Community Players. She took action. She hadn't played her saxophone for 30 years. There was this group that said, hey, look, we exist. We have no judgment. We just come along and play if you want to. If it's a brand new instrument to you, if you're an experienced musician but you want to try a different instrument, great for you. If you haven't played for 30 years, great, come along. If you're brand new at it, you know what, we'll figure something out, come along. And that's exactly what Karen did. She had this desire, and with a bit of encouragement from people around her and her own encouragement, she finally took that step and attended the Pinellas Community Players, and life has changed for her ever since. I've actually seen it from the outside. I've watched Karen grow as a person, learning much, much more than just knowing how to play the saxophone, building a community around her. It's been absolutely fascinating. So replace your intentions with action. And how do you do that? Very, very simple formula, okay? Number one, you set a goal. You set some sort of a goal. I want to play the saxophone again, or I want to attend this event, or I want to find out more about that particular organization or that particular piece of repertoire, whatever it is. So set yourself some sort of a goal. Then you have to set yourself a plan. Once you have a plan, meaning I'm going to, okay, well, there's an opportunity right there to attend a group, to actually play my saxophone in a group where I won't be on solo. I don't have to go get a teacher. It's, you know, there's an opportunity. It's a lot cheaper than having lessons on my own as well as going to a group that's ideal for me. I have a plan. I'm going to go on a Thursday night to Pinellas Community Players. Or you could say, I'm going to read up about this particular repertoire and I'm going to look for a concert where this repertoire is being played. Or I've got a friend who's playing, they keep inviting me. You know what? I'm going to go to that particular concert, maybe the one on October 18th outside, socially distant. So you have a plan. And then the third thing out of 4 that you can do to implement and apply what you learn is to win. Yes, that's it. Just win. Celebrate. I did it. I attended. I played the saxophone again. I experienced that piece of repertoire live in person. It doesn't matter what you got out of it, okay? Very important distinction. It doesn't matter what you got out of it. The fact that you did it is the win. That is worth celebrating. All the other stuff you learned out of that is great, terrific. You can celebrate that as well. But just the fact that you had a goal, you had a plan, and you actually did it is a win. And then the last step is very simply repeat. Do it all again with something else, or even the same thing. Goal, plan, win, repeat. That is the way to apply anything that you learn as you're learning more than just knowledge. And when you do that, this is what gets me. This last point is what drives me in my entire life, both within the DMS and outside, is that I love this part. I love helping people accomplish more than they ever thought possible. When you realize there's more to learning than just knowledge, you can accomplish more than you ever thought was possible. And that is such a joy. That is what makes our world a better place. And I've chosen to do this through live music. I hope this is a big part in your life too, which is why you're here. And if it's not, start attending concerts. They are around, they do exist. Obviously, there's going to be more coming as things reopen over time, over the next year or so. But, you know, please thoroughly enjoy this opportunity to realize that learning isn't just memorizing facts, just knowing more stuff. If you upgrade your fuel, what you intake into your head and your heart, if you get some training and accountability so that you don't just stumble and fall down and repeat reinventing the wheel and duplicate everyone else's effort, if you focus on these things, then you will your life will change. And then apply what you learn. Apply not just what you learn, what you take in, the fuel that you do take in, but also what comes out of that. Implement that as well.